Hi, my name is Victor Bart, welcome to Dutch Video Shooter, and I shoot Micro Four Thirds since 2013 and I owned and tried a lot of lenses. And these 7 lenses became my Micro Four Thirds kit because if you own this set you can shoot anything that you want. In low light, long range, wide, everything in between. I do mostly video but also photos on holiday, and it's for me my hobby for my YouTube channels, so I don't do professional work, but I like a complete range of lenses. The reason why I make this video because I want to replace my worn out Micro Four Thirds cameras, and I bought a brand new one, and that is the Panasonic S5 Mark II with the great autofocus, which I don't really have with the Micro Four Thirds system. And I chose the 16-35 f4 lens. I still have my GH3. This is not my original GH3 because that broke down because the contact points broke off by that camera. But also this camera has some issues. If I take a photo with the shutter, it crashes. So I can only take photos with this camera in electronic shutter mode. The flip screen, which I really love, and that's why I chose the GH3 in the beginning to film myself, is loose. You can open the body, tighten the screws, but it only helps for a while and then it gets loose again. And the biggest issue that I have with this camera, also with the GH3s, is the hand grip. It's just falling apart. Here's some missing, and it's just loose pieces fall off and it gets sticky and terrible. So yeah, time to decommission my GH3 because yeah, it's not working anymore. I own 2 GH5s. One I bought brand new and the other one I bought when it got cheaper from Chungda. And both have the same problem as the GH3, that the hand grip is falling apart. Look at this air bubble under it, and here on the door it was curling up and I just ripped it off. That was a reason that I said, yeah, maybe it's time for a new camera. And I took a look also at the GH7, but that became more expensive than the S5 Mark II to buy. So I decided to get a full frame camera. And here is my GH5 in my Secuto rigging, and I really love this setup. I have a full shoulder setup for it. Right now there's a speed booster with a Canon FD lens on it. Only this camera has like really a sticky hand grip. I didn't use this camera for like 3 weeks and you can see the whole grip is oily and sticky. It's very terrible. I need to clean it off, and not sure what I'm gonna do because I will keep my GH5s, but the hand grips are really gross right now. But for the rest, the GH5 is still an amazing camera. No play in the flip screen, the shutters are working great. I really love the dual memory card function. I always shoot on 2 cards. The only thing that I didn't like anymore was the autofocus. It's decent, I shoot most things on autofocus, but sometimes you get the autofocus hunting and I really don't like that. So yeah, that's why I also choose the S5II with the great autofocus and face detection. So let's put the cameras away because we're gonna talk lenses. These are my 7 Micro Four Thirds lenses. The Olympus 45mm f1.8, the 17mm f1.8, the Panasonic 1025 f1.7, the Panasonic 100-400 f4 to f6.7, the 35-100 f2.8, the 12-35 f2.8, and the 7-14 f4. So let's show you the lenses and tell about them, what I like about them, how I use them, and will I sell them or will I keep them? Because this set goes from 7mm to 400mm with every focal length in between, also with the fast lenses. It's very nice kit. Only with the S5, with the good low light, and the 16-35, I already don't need this lens anymore, for example. So I'm gonna sell off a lot of those lenses to make some money back because lenses are expensive. But let's talk about this lens. I shot most of my videos on this lens, and the nice thing is it's super wide. With the 7mm, if you compare to full frame, it's a 14mm, so super wide. It's also on zoom, it goes from 7 to 14. It has a focus ring, but focused by wire, because it's 2009 design. But on the GH5 and also on the GH3, this with autofocus really works, because most times everything is in focus, but no focus hunting. I had a thing on this lens on the GH5 that the IBIS didn't like this lens, and you got wobbly sides, so that was not so pretty. And this lens has a built-in lens hood, which is really good to protect the glass, because that is completely rounded, and yeah, that's easy to scratch, but now it's safe. It comes also with a lens hood, a slide on one. And one disadvantage what I didn't like about this lens is it doesn't take filters. So I use this on my Panasonic AF100 with the built-in ND filters, and that was amazing. But normally I just put it on auto aperture, and it works. Yeah, good lens, but I gonna sell it because the S5 with 1635 will do the same. Little bit less wide, but still the 16 is where I want to go in terms of wideness. But great lens, really recommend it for landscapes, vlogging, and amazing if you stay in the light. The next lens was my first lens, and this is just an amazing lens. The lens hood comes off. This is my second lens hood, because one time the camera crashes down out of my back on the street, and only the lens hood was damaged and the rest was still good. So I like lens hoods because they give protection. And this lens is completely worn out. Normally it says here 1235, it's f2.8 lens, it has stabilization, but the writing is worn off. The focus ring makes some little scratching noises, but it is zoom lens that protrudes out. It has a filter thread, which is nice. It's just a really good general lens, and I decided I will keep this lens. And the main reason is it's so worn out that if I sell it, I will get maybe 200 euros for it, and a lot of people that say, oh, the lens is worn out, blah blah blah, and I can better keep it with the GH5, so I have a basic lens to shoot with. So yeah, I will keep this lens because it's not worth anything, and it's worth more to just keep it with the GH5, that I can take normal pictures, shoot some video. Yeah, this is a keeper. The next lens is also amazing. It has a really big lens hood. Let's take it off, and the lens cap also filter thread, same as 1235, so 58mm. And this lens I bought it used, and it also has stabilization. It doesn't protrude out when zooming, which is nice. Focus is still smooth, but also focused by wire, and this is the version 1 of the 35-100 f2.8. and this is an amazing lens, but I didn't use it that much for some pictures, and I like the result. But yeah, should I sell or keep this? That's the question. And this one, I'm not sure yet. What do you think? Sell it or keep it? Yeah, hard choice, because I like to have this range, but maybe I can buy the 7200 f2.8 for the S5. That would be really an amazing lens. Yeah, I need to think about it, but yeah, hard decision. Maybe I should just sell it. yeah, I gonna put it online, but I don't gonna put it online for cheap. So if someone buys it, I got some decent money for it, and if they say it's too expensive, I keep it. Yeah, let's do it like this. The next lens is a huge telephoto lens, and it is an amazing lens. I think this is one of the best lenses for the system. And I had the 100 to 300 lens, the f4 to 5.6, but I sold it when I got this one, because this is just a modern lens. These are all the old versions from the first designs, but this is like a 10-year later design, so they improved a lot, they added new functions. First of all, it has a big lens hood and a smaller lens hood built in. Also, it takes filters. You have the focus by wiring, the lock unlock. So if you put it on unlock and you hike with it, it will slide down. But if you put a lock on it, it stays in place. That is a really handy function. I had the 100-300 and it always got longer when I was hiking. And this one is also weather sealed, and the 100-300 wasn't. And this has a longer range. I really like telephoto lenses when they have really long range, because if you want to photograph a bird, it's always far away in a tree, and then 300 is not enough, and 400 is decent, but most times also not enough. And I think this will take teleconverters, but I don't have one. And another nice function is there's some switches here. This button is really interesting. It says full and 5 meters to infinity. And if you put it on full, the focus range is longer. And if you put on 5 to infinity, it only focuses from 5 meters to infinity. So the autofocus is quicker. And if you shoot birds, put it on there, then it just is a quicker lens with autofocus. Here the autofocus manual focus switch, and also it has power EOS, the stabilization, which is also really nice in a telephoto lens, and this one works together with the IBIS from the GH5. Because of the power EOS and the IBIS in the GH5, I don't bring a tripod anymore on trips where I fly in. Yeah, maybe a mini tripod, but not a big tripod for a telephoto lens, because if I shoot handheld, it's really good with this lens. And also it has the tripod mount here, and a button here so you can move it around if you shoot landscape or portrait, which is really nice to have. Should I sell it or keep it? What do you think? Of course I'm gonna keep it, because this on a GH5 is super small, and how will you do 100 to 400 millimeter telephoto range in full frame? That is 200 to 800 millimeters in this size. It's just impossible to have a compact telephoto setup with full frame. So this one with my GH5 will be doing all my telephoto work, because I don't think I want to have like a lens like this with traveling, because it's way too big hassle. Micro Four Thirds and this lens is a great combination. And I also found out that Olympus has even extremer zooms like this for telephoto work. But for now I will just keep this, probably till all my Micro Four Thirds cameras will die someday. Let's skip this lens for now and talk about the two prime lenses that I have. And I have two Olympus lenses and not any Panasonic primes anymore. Because yeah, I like these lenses. I think the Olympus lenses are a little bit better build quality than the Panasonic lenses. They have some cool features. It's just amazing. And this lens This is one of my favorite lenses for the system. It is the Olympus 17mm f1.8. So really a good general focal length. Look how tiny and small it is. 17mm f1.8, 46mm filter thread. It has a really nice lens hood from metal, and still it is a small setup. And most times I keep the lens hoods on, and it doesn't have much glass. It's lightweight. It's not pancake lens like the 20 and the 40mm Panasonic lenses. It's a little bit bigger, but still look how small. And what I really love about this lens is this focus ring. You can slide it backwards, and then it has a manual focus with hard stops. And then you slide it backwards and you have autofocus again. And this on the GH5 and also on the GH3 is just an amazing combination. It really works. So should I sell or keep this? Because yeah, do I still need an 17mm prime with like 35 on full frame? Yes, I'm gonna keep this because it's one of my favorite lenses, and I used this a lot before I got this biomod of a lens. And yeah, let's keep this, because if I take the GH5 with the 100-400mm lens as my telephoto thing, and I can just drop this in my camera bag as a spare lens if I want to have like wider shots. I also use this lens for a lot of photos, and it's just amazing. If you can try this out, you should do it. And I like the silver coloring. It's just a little bit cooler than the black ones. It looks like a little vintage lens. And with the focus, it behaves like a vintage lens. And it's still modern. So this is the other Olympus prime that I have, and I got this lens with the AF100 because there were 4 lenses included, and this was one of them. And this is a 45mm f1.8, and this is a super cool portrait lens. And to be honest, I didn't use it for video, maybe a few times, but I used it for some photos, and not even that much photos. But the results are great, and it's a nice portrait focal length. It's small, so you can easily just travel with these 2 lenses and have a great time. Also for video, this works great, but this is an older style lens, so only focus by wire. It has a filter thread of 37mm, so pretty small filter thread, so you need to some step up rings. And it has this ring that is just for aesthetics, but also a plastic lens hood, so it makes the lens a little bit bigger. But yeah, this is an aftermarket lens hood, and sometimes it doesn't go on right. Ah yes. So this is with the lens hood. It's an amazing lens, but should I keep it or sell it? Yeah, I think I'm gonna sell it, but that depends on the price. If they go for like really cheap and I don't get much for it, I think I'm gonna keep it together with 35. But if it's worth more than 200 euros, I might sell it. I didn't use it a lot. But what I also can do is, if I sell this one, keep this one, or if I sell this one, keep this one. Yeah, choices. But I think I'm gonna best sell off a lot of stuff. But it depends on the price. And now this lens. This is really huge. My hand full. It's not light. It doesn't have stabilization. But it's an amazing lens. And if I would just choose one lens to start with my Four Third lenses, I would choose this one because it is a 10mm to 25mm, so pretty wide, not super wide, but pretty wide to a normal range. So you can shoot all normal lens stuff with it. It has filter thread of 77mm. It has a built-in lens hood. Just keep it on because it protects the glass. Because look at how much glass is in here. It doesn't have any switches. Here's the lens mount, of course. Here the zoom range. And it says 10, 12, 14, 18, 25. So you can use this as a zoomable prime because it's an f1.7. It is even faster than this little prime lens with the f1.7. It would be really cool if it was f1.4, but that are details that are not so important. And what I also really love about this lens is normally you have focus by wire, but if you pull this down, you have the manual focus ring, and automatically switches the GH5 to manual focus, and with the scaling. But what I don't like is it doesn't have hard stops. It stops on the scale but not on the ring. So if you use this with a follow focus, you lose the control in your fingers of I zoomed in and I zoomed out, because if you go too far it keeps turning and then your hand moving is not in sync with the focus anymore. So that's a thing that I didn't like about this lens, and yeah, it's a little bit big. It's also not a really light lens, but on the GH5 it's a good combination. Keep this or sell it. I'm gonna sell it. And it's one of my lenses where I say it's an amazing lens. I can shoot anything with it. But also the 1635 f4 takes over most of the range. It's not as fast, but the sensor of the S5 is way better in low light. So I don't think I miss out a lot of with it. And I think Panasonic should make for the S5 a 16-35 f2.8. Then that would be way better than this one. The 1635 also in Super 35 modus goes to the same range of the long end of this lens. So yes, I'm gonna sell this. It's still a pretty expensive lens, so I'm gonna get some money for it. That is nice, because I want to buy also a drone. And I checked by the camera companies, if you bring this in, I could only get 850 euros for it. I was thinking, wait a minute, that's not cool. I'm just gonna sell it on Marktplaats here in the Netherlands. Great lens, but it needs to go. It needs to make some room in my kit, because I want to slim down, because I don't need all the lenses anymore.